Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Here's your part. Oh, dear Lord, sometimes I'm almost to the ground. Oh, dear Lord, although you see me going along so, oh, dear Lord, I have my trials here below. Oh, dear Lord, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. I like to sing. I don't sing as much as I used to because I don't sing as well as I used to, so I get a little self-conscious. But I like to sing. And every once in a while I sing in my sermons. In the last transitional position I had the fortune to sing a duet with the director of music, who was a fabulous mezzo-soprano. And I was pleased that right before I left, we were asked to do an encore performance of our duet before my last Sunday. So that was fun to do. So what I've discovered is that singing is part of our faith. In fact, singing, our faith, makes us sing. I had a seminary classmate who didn't sing very well. He couldn't hardly hold a note, but he tried to do his best, you know. He tried to be a good worship leader and sing as well as he could, and even though he couldn't hold a tune. And so, you know, sometimes we'd be with him, Ken, you know, mouth the words if you want, okay? But, you know, no, he wanted to do his part, and so he sang for joy even though it didn't sound so good. Our faith calls us to sing. Now, you know, there's a book in the Bible that teaches us how to sing, and it's the book of Psalms. And there are 150 songs that are about life and about God. But what I discover is that we don't really know that many of them, because usually on Sunday, we only say the happy, clappy ones and not the sad ones. And that's kind of to our disadvantage, because that sort of prevents us from getting the whole breadth and depth of what the psalmists have to say to us when it comes to our faith about life and about God. As ministers, we learn that when people come to church, they tell us that they know that life is chaotic and unpredictable and sad sometimes. So they want to hear that predictability when they come to church. So they want to hear the happy clappy. And so we give them the happy clappy and not the sad woe is me songs. But for me, what really made the Psalms come alive was when my Old Testament professor, Walter Brueggemann, came out with a new book called The Message of the Psalms. And he really helped me unlock what all that meant for us, because what he talked about was that most of the time when we think about Psalms, most people talk about praise songs, happy clappy, and songs of lament. Woe is me. What are you going to do about it, God? But he said, actually, from his scholarship, he decided that there are three kinds of psalms. There are songs of orientation, happy clappy, songs of disorientation, woe is me, and songs of new orientation, let's sing a new song. Now, if you were here last week, you heard us sing Psalm 8, and Psalm 8 is a psalm of orientation. It's a happy clappy psalm. And it's a song that starts out with, "O Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth." And after that, it gets even better. And it talks about how wonderful God is and about how God's creation and how stable and wonderful and how important we are in God's creation, and it makes us feel good. But then there's Psalm 13. And Psalm 13 goes like this. "Oh, how long, O Lord, will you forget me? Forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I bear pain in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all day long? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me?" And these are songs of disorientation, songs that talk about sorrow and anguish and abandonment and wonder, and ask the question, why? Why is life the way it is? Songs of disorientation are songs about chaos. And we don't like chaos. In fact, we spend most of our life trying to keep chaos away. That's why we work so hard to have such nice houses and nice lawns and good places to go and safe streets and all those things to keep the chaos away. But we know that chaos keeps breaking in. And then we wonder what we're supposed to do about it and how we're supposed to respond. You realize, of course, chaos begins with our birth. Think about it, that the first 9 months of our existence, we're all in this nice water environment. Everything is provided for us, and we're connected to a cord that feeds us and takes care of us, and it's just all wonderful. But then something comes along, and whoosh, out we come into the world, and it's cold and bright and dark and all those things. And what do? Wow! We cry. And every time our environment changes, we cry. And we ask, why, oh God? And songs of disorientation help us understand that it's okay to say that and ask for God's help, because even all the songs of disorientation end with praise to God. But then there's a third kind of song, songs of new orientation. Our song, Psalm 40 that we used at the beginning of the service, was a song of new orientation. They're songs that says, after the deluge, after the trial, after the darkness, we look back and we realize that God was there. God was there in the darkness and in the loneliness and in the hard times. And it helps us sing a new song. My hunch is that a song of new orientation is your favorite, because it goes like this. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23 is a song of new orientation because it's a song of after the deluge, God. Songs of new orientation teach us that life will never be the same again. That no matter what, because of our new experience, we can't go back. But because of God, who's always been working for new life and new possibilities, things will be different and things will be better, and there'll be a new reality. And so we can sing a new song. Psalm 96 is a song of new song, one of those kind of songs. The Hebrew people had been in exile, and right before they were released or on their way home, they realized God was at work and doing something new, and so they sang a new song as they made their way home. And we learned to sing a new song because of our faith in God. And what we discover is it's important to sing new songs even while we're in the times of hardship, because it helps us get through it. And so as we think back in the time of our own country, during the civil rights days, people of color sang songs of triumph and songs of new orientation, singing for a new day, hoping it would be true. And during the labor union days, the people of the labor union sang songs of new orientation, looking for justice in the marketplace. And during the women's movement, women sang new songs, looking for a day for justice and fairness in life. You see, it's always important to sing new songs because it sings about how we want things to be, what we hope God is allowing us to do. And so we sing those songs. So to sing new songs is an important thing for churches to do during times of transition. That's what I'm doing. That's one of my jobs here, is to help you sing a new song. That's why we're singing new songs today, to kind of remind us that, yes, life is going to be different, but we're going to learn new songs because someone's going to teach us a new song to sing. So what I'm going to have happen is the ushers are going to be passing. You see these song sheets that are up on the side of the banisters up here? Well, these are the notes that people from the 8:30 service already put on our song sheets. And you're going to get your own song, and what I want you to do is be thinking about, what new song do we need to sing? Do we need to sing songs of hope or anticipation or expectation or joy? What should be our song? How should we sing it? So when you get your note, you'll notice that there's a spot you can either write a word or you can write a name of a song as we think about what we're going to sing about. And then when you come up for communion, bring your note with you. And as you leave, you'll notice there's some tape by the sheets, and you can tape your song on the song sheet. Now, you can be literalistic, and you can tape it right on the staff, or just above or below, or wherever you think works best. And you can decide if you're going to be a bass clef song or a treble clef song, or what it's going to be. But it's going to be your song to sing. And as you're thinking about what kind of song we shall sing and what you're going to write on your note, I'm going to tell you a little story about orientation and disorientation and new orientation. And I'm going to hold this thing because I think it helps me not crack so much. But when I was early in my ministry, I was about 26 or 27, I was asked to be a co-director of a summer church camp for 5th and 6th graders. And the other co-director had been director for a couple years, so I said yes because he had experience about directing camps. And so we had a good experience working together, picking our themes and recruiting counselors, and we recruited a good group of counselors to help us do that camp. And it turned out that we ended up one male counselor short, so in addition to being director, I was also a counselor for 5th and 6th grade boys in a cabin. And we had a great week. The kids came, and we bonded together, and the counselors had a good time, and we just spent every day building community. And every night we got together and learned songs and sang and prayed. And my co-director was a wonderful storyteller and heard stories. And we just had a great week. And if you've ever been to church camp, you know the Friday night is always the big one, because you sing all the songs you learned all week, and you reheard the messages that you heard, and then you do those kind of things. And then right near the end of the service, my co-director stood up and said, "Well, I need to tell you that we'll never, ever all be together the way we are right now. We'll never, ever be together like we are right this moment and feel the way we do right now." And you know how that felt? Boom. Knife right to the heart. Like, oh, I wasn't ready to hear that. You know, we all knew we were going to go home tomorrow, but we weren't ready to hear that song of disorientation, and we were all kind of sad. But he was speaking truth, that we were never ever going to be the same again or be ever together again. And some of the kids did make friendships and write each other and stay friends over the years. And some of the counselors stayed in touch with each other, but it never was the same. But none of us ever regretted the experience because we were better and wiser and ready to go on with our life. And that's kind of the way it works with congregations, too. Ministers come, and Frank and Stephanie teach us a new song. And when they leave, we sing sad songs because they're no longer with us. But we also know that God is always working, and we trust that God will send us somebody new to sing us a new song. And it might be a better song. It might be a worse song. We don't know. We just know it's going to be different. But we trust that God will help us be the best we can be. And we would never regret the experience we had with Frank or Stephanie or Jill or all the ministers who have come before. Because whether it's I or all the other ministers, in a way, we're all transitional. Because one day we start, and one day we end. But the church goes on, and the good news of Jesus Christ is for us to hear and to live and to be. That's the power of our faith. So what song shall we sing? What will be our new song? We don't know yet, but we trust that God will teach it to us. And when it's time, we'll sing that song.